Hey, how are you? Ready to go for a run?
Running connects us to a rush of energy that flows through our world. The cheers of friends that unlock a new gear within us. The intersection of interests that inspires a run crew. The support that gets you over the finish line. Connection is why we move forward and what inspires us to keep going. Let's run there. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
I'm Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas. And for this episode, I am joined by my very good friend, Mina from the Kpop Bookshelf Podcast. How are you, Mina?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. I haven't had you on since the Extraordinary Attorney Woo episode, which is actually a lot of people have listened to that one. So I'm guessing that most of our audience has listened to that episode and is familiar with you. So I'm excited to get going on this review that we're going to do today. We're going even further back in time in the K-drama world. We're going back to the year 2004 to review Full House. Yes. So I know before we get started, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. And if you like us, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That goes such a long way for other people just like you to find us. And come check us out on social media to stay up to date on everything that we're doing. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Daebak Pod. And lastly, if you're a fan, the best way to be a fan is to support us on Patreon. You can get a bunch of extra content. I swear I'm posting on there a lot nowadays. A lot of Daebak reviews and final says and C-drama stuff. All fun and I think we also have like Disney stuff on there too. It's crazy. So we're constantly posting on Patreon. You can check out the page on patreon.com/alwayscriticpod. And I want to shout out our patrons, Curtis Bale, Cindy C, Alana, Grace, Lorna Lee, Sammy, and Caitlin. You guys are wonderful. Love having you guys as part of the patron community. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying I live in Florida. It is currently summer in Florida, and there is a summer storm happening outside. It's a thunderstorm. So if you hear some noise in the background, I'm sorry. It's Florida. I can't change the weather right now. So for Full House, my gosh.
You can't change the weather?
No, I can't. Not currently, no. Funny enough, I just watched Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs the other day. For the first time ever, that animated movie. And I was like, wow. So anyway, talking about changing the weather. So my drama list synopsis for Full House. Han Ji-eun, an aspiring script writer, lives in a house called Full House, built by her late father. One day, her two best friends trick her into believing she has won a free vacation and sell her house while she's away. On the plane, she meets famous actor Lee Young-jae. Through comedic events, they get acquainted during her vacation, and when she returns, she discovers that her house has been sold to him. Though they don't get along with each other because of her messy tendencies and his bad temper and zealous cleanliness, they agree to live with each other. In the beginning, Ji-eun works as his maid in order to buy her house back. They alter their arrangement when Young-jae decides to win back the love of his life, Kang Hae-won. In a bid to make Hae-won jealous, the two protagonists enter into a contract marriage with a 6-month term. Complications arise when the couple starts to fall for each other. Yeah, so we're going to get into it. This aired originally from July to September 2004. It is a summer show, and good for us. I have like 90-something degree weather happening outside, so we're in the peak of summer, y'all, in Florida. 2004. I don't know if you care to say what you were doing in 2004, but I'll just go ahead and set the scene and I'll out myself. I was 12 years old in 2004.
And you're a babysitter. We'll put it that way.
Okay, yeah. And to put it in perspective, Brad Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston at the time. This was the year that he met Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but he was still married to Jen. Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook in 2004 from his Harvard dorm. It was not the Facebook metaverse that we have today.
It was the Facebook. It was called the Facebook.
Yes. Yes. Watch The Social Network if you haven't already. Excellent film. The TV sitcom Friends aired its season finale this year. I'm pretty shocked at that one, as a matter of fact. And here were some movies that came out in 2004. Kill Bill Volume 2, Howl's Moving Castle, The Notebook, The Incredibles, Mean Girls, Spider-Man 2, Shrek 2, 50 First Dates, and the third Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban. What was on the radio? Well, I'll let you know, Mina. We have, the single by Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris. It won a bunch of Grammys and a Billboard Song of the Year. Stop it. Stop it, Mina. It's more like, okay.
I didn't want to do that, but yeah.
I went ahead and just did it. I got it out of the way. Also, the song If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys was released this year and won some Grammys. Coldplay's Clocks, the song Clocks, was winning Grammys, and so was the band Evanescence. So, I mean, this was
It's a golden time for music. Really.
Talk about golden era. But honestly, this is the climate. This is the time. Only 3 years removed from 9/11. This is when Full House was released. Nobody had an iPhone. Nobody knew what an iPhone was, okay? This is the flip phone era. This is LimeWire downloading music era.
This is like Blockbuster, Video the Store, and like movie rental places.
Yes. Yeah. Netflix did not exist. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I just want to set the scene here. When we're going back to 2004, like, it's a serious thing. So, the show Full House is only 16 episodes long, and the director is Pyo-min Soo. He's directed things like Worlds Within from 2008, which also stars Song Hye-Kyo. He directed Heartstrings from 2011, which stars what's her name? Oh my god, we just had her in the airs. I forgot her name. I feel bad. Whatever.
Is it Bae Suzy?
No.
Who's in airs?
No, airs, and I feel terrible, but anyway, it'll come to me later in the episode. So Heartstrings, Iris 2, The Producers, The Third Charm, these are all his projects. It obviously was based on a cartoon. Won Soo-yeon wrote the cartoon, and Min Hyo-jung wrote the screenplay. Min Hyo-jung really hasn't done anything else besides Full House. The only two other writing credits to their name, Rules of Love from 2005 and Cat on the Roof the year before Full House in 2003. So I'm just going to list off our two leads because Full House is led by Song Hye-Kyo. She plays Han Ji-eun. She was a grand total of 23 years old when she did Full House. And what do you think about Song Hye-Kyo in like Full House? Because we covered The Glory, we've covered her in Descendants of the Sun. That's 2016 and 2023-ish, respectively. And honestly, she's done a bunch of other stuff, and we've discussed her in other episodes. But how are you feeling about Song Hye-Kyo?
In this show, it reminded me a lot of like this era in K-dramas where there was a lot of, and not to say there's still not, but female protagonists who are annoyingly endearing, or at least that's what they want you to think. I kept thinking of Boys Over Flowers and John D, the character of John D, and how truly annoying she was and how much I actually fully hated her. But I thought Song Hye-Kyo in her portrayal actually managed as Ji-eun to be endearing. That was my opinion, at least. That she was cute and endearing, except she was also like clumsy and like, annoying, dirty, all those things.
I agree completely. So I feel like Song Hye-Kyo has the reputation of being a serious actress. Like all of her characters are very stoic, beautiful, elegant, and not very loose or bubbly or endearing like she is here in this role. And this is sort of where I first saw her, was in this show called Full House. And granted, I didn't watch it when I was 12 years old. I watched it like 2012, 2013. It was one of the first couple of years that I was watching K-dramas, and I loved her in Full House. And this kind of informed my opinion of her and her acting, is that she can kind of do it all. Yeah. Rain, or as I like to call him, Rain. So Rain plays Lee Young-jae, the celeb in this show. He was only 22 years old when he did this show. He's gone on to do some other shows like A Love to Kill, My Lovely Girl, Comeback Mr. Ghost Doctor in 2022. He had a cameo in Under the Queen's Umbrella, and I think he's got a Disney Plus show coming out next year. Hwang Family Scandal is the name of it right now. What did you think of Rain in this show?
I mean, I think he was obviously like, I don't know if the stunt casting is the word, but like he's there to be kind of play Rain, because that was the peak, or among the peak time of his popularity in Korea as an idol. So he's playing kind of the spoiled celebrity idol guy who also acts and that kind of thing. So he was just trying to play himself. I don't think the acting was very great, but it was, and he was so young, so I don't know how much acting he'd done before that, but yeah, he was there.
So he had he had been in only one other show before this, Sangdu Let's Go to School from 2003, where, get this, he plays a gigolo who's a father of a 7-year-old who's sick, and so he's sort of living below the poverty line just so that he can pay the hospital bills for his 7-year-old. I don't know if anyone has seen this show. If you have seen Rain,
did you watch this?
No,
Okay.
I've never seen this show. But if you have, please reach out and let me know your thoughts on it, because I'm really not about to fit in this 2003 Sangdu Let's Go to School show with Rain and his very first acting cred. But it seems like a heavy-handed role to play.
I'm curious how he was the dad of a 7-year-old at age like 20. And
well,
also,
he was I think the character was like 27, was supposed to be 27 years old. So he had the kid when he was about 20. Anyway, that's like a totally different show. So it's, tangent. But Rain as Lee Young-jae, I will say I still love Rain. I still love Rain in this role. I still love Rain as Lee Young-jae. There's something really boyish about his character and about his portrayal that really appeals even after 20 years. Like, the show is about 20 years old. And even though it's not the best acting whatsoever, I do feel like there's a vulnerability to the character that he brings out in certain parts, and that was almost mesmerizing to see those parts where he lets down his guard and is a little more vulnerable and open. They're yelling basically the whole show, both of them.
Time. But I thought for him too, like similar to
Song Hye-Kyo.
Song Hye-Kyo. I was like, what's her name? Yes, like he portrayed a little bit of it, like something that seemed more endearing as well. Surprisingly, like it would kind of catch me off guard, because sometimes I was like, this character's so annoying. But then when the script was trying to make it seem like he had these, like you said, vulnerabilities, and was some kind of endearing, like, because sometimes I was like, why does she like him, or why did she ever, want to interact with him? Sometimes it made sense. So he definitely had moments, I think.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts in general on the show? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it watchable after 20 years? Let me know.
It's definitely dated, I think, in that you're never like, oh, this is happening right now in present day. But
Yeah.
I think it's definitely, it's watchable, and I love Rain just separately. So I really liked, watching him and Song Hye-Kyo. So like you said, a stoic actress, just like classic beauty, and they made her really kind of goofy and cute. So I think it's really fun to watch now.
Did you have any trouble getting through the episodes at all?
Yeah, it seemed, you said only however many episodes, but I was like, that's too many. It's too many episodes.
16 episodes was too many. Yeah, I would agree with that. Personally, I think if this show was made today, it would be 12 episodes, 8 episodes max. I don't think
I
that
hope so, anyway.
it's...
It needs to be.
Sorry. I don't know why that really got me. That made me laugh. Okay. No, I think that it's not warranted, the 16 episode count. What I mean by it's only 16 episodes is that for me, I blasted through these episodes. It was very easy for me to rewatch the show, and it felt like it was giving me the same high as I did when I first watched it. The excitement that I felt watching the show was really all-time high, something that is very different from my experience watching some of these other K-dramas that I've returned to and watched for the podcast, where it was really tough to get through Airs, it was really tough to get through You're Beautiful, but for this one, easy money, easy.
Yeah, this one I think held up better than Airs and stuff, for sure.
Yeah, I think it does hold up a little better than Airs or even You're Beautiful. There's some magical quality about Full House and the tropes that it employs, like the cohabitation trope and the contract marriage trope. Are you kidding? Of course. These are still around. There's still, people still love these tropes. So I don't feel like if you come into this thinking this is going to be wildly different, no. In fact, this is kind of where those trends started, right? Was Full House and this cohabitation, this couple, this contract marriage was like the blueprint for other K-dramas to follow. So I really think that it's foundational. It's important. It did extremely well in ratings and in popularity. It was a huge export. People love this show. And I felt that even when I was first watching it, was like, this looks, even though it's freaking dated, everybody looks really mid 2000s in a shocking way. You're like, oh my God, the fashion, everything that the second female lead is wearing is some level of atrocious. I'm telling you, it is painfully 2004, but at the same time, I feel like it's timeless.
I will say I covered the show a little bit, Winter Sonata, in one of my podcast episodes, which was considered the first drama to really start Hallyu, and this one too is one of them. But that one the plot was absurd, like absolutely absurd, because he employed all these tropes of like amnesia and this and that and like forced cohabitation, and it was kind of insufferable to watch for me now in present day. But Full House, using those tropes, and I was getting a little nervous actually, and I was like, oh gosh, here we go, like contract marriage and living together. But it actually worked. It just worked. I think much better. Yeah,
whether it's because it had some good source material with the cartoon, a lot of people have said that the show is better than the cartoon. I don't know how true that is because I've never gotten my hands on the Full House cartoon, but I kind of feel like there's something to that statement because it is really watchable. It is, this couple is really fun.
Yeah.
They're annoying to each other. They're annoying sometimes to even watch, but there's some magic. I don't know what they were eating on the set. Like, I don't know what it is.
You're rooting for them too. You're like, I hope it works out.
Yeah, you hope it works out. You hope they make it. You hope they get over themselves. You hope that they, for the love of God, communicate.
Yeah.
So this is not Rain's first role, and this is not Song Hye-Kyo's first role. But it just did a lot for the tropes. It did a lot for both of them career-wise because it was so popular. What are some things that sort of made you think, oh my God, this is 2004? Because I don't... Yeah.
Everything? No, the clothes and the hair, the side ponies, the little braids.
How dare you?
Her no, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And I actually worked in retail during this time, and I'm really not fashionable at all. So I could relate to the character. But my friend, who is way more fashionable, was like, you got to wear Kelly green. That is the color. And I was like, what the hell is Kelly green? I didn't even know what it was. And she's like, no, that's the popular color. And I had all this American Apparel Kelly green stuff, and I watching this, I was in shock because she wears Kelly green every other scene. She wears so much Kelly green, and also those weird little ruffle skirts,
yes,
the tank tops, the multi-layered tank tops under and everything was really killing me. The Kangol kind of hats, Newsies hats.
Oh my god, the kitten heels.
The kitten heels, yes. She was rocking every look that was in. So yeah, it's definitely the clothes.
I was surprised at the outfits that they put on the second female lead, Haewon, her character, because they were pretty risque to me. Did you feel the same way?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of skin showing. I was kind of surprised in push-up bra type of thing, and I was like, is this allowed?
I thought
allowed in 2004?
I thought the same thing. I was like, why do I feel like K-dramas now, and even in the last 10 years or so, are extremely conservative when it comes to dressing their leads, right?
Right.
Because
I had the same thought.
Right. Because she's out here with exposed bra straps and frilly bra straps just out and showing her arms. I saw cleavage, and I was like, there is a lot. I'm seeing the side of her stomach and stuff. I feel like I saw side boob. I was like, she's not dressing terribly. It's just very runway fashion from 2004. And for some reason, they don't afford that sort of risky look to leads nowadays, or even second leads nowadays.
I had the exact same observation, and I don't know why that is either. But that's interesting to think about.
Yeah, super interesting to see that on screen. I think what really shook me was the cinematography, because there was no cinematography. Everything was washed out. They never heard of white balance. It was just overexposed. It literally, all I can think of is just the color white when I think of Full House and the way that it was shot.
Yeah.
The landline that was in the house that was sort of integral to the story so many times was they're waiting for calls. They're waiting to, I don't know. I was like,
how that was back then. You just sat around and waited for people, or you sat in a restaurant and waited for someone to show up.
Honestly,
you didn't panic. You just sit there for hours.
You would just deal with it. Yeah. And they would answer the phone and not know who was on the line. They were just hello, as if they had no clue who was caller ID wasn't a thing in 2004.
It was, but not everyone had it.
So. Exactly. That's what I mean. Is that the phone that they had in the show didn't have caller ID.
No.
So they were just hello? No clue who's on the other line.
It could be anyone.
It could be anybody. Again, with the front door. Now we have front door cameras. We don't just pop over to people's houses.
No, I was appalled.
It was appalling. It was rampant. Rampant in this show.
Egregious.
Anybody would just come over and they would open the door hello. Again, they have no idea who's at the door. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really throwing me.
What a time to be alive.
And then I was confused also by a couple blunders, production blunders that were just kept in.
Like what?
There's at one point you see a light, a production light in a nighttime shot. And I was is that the light that's lighting the scene? And then there was a shadow of the camera passing over, I guess, lighting. Okay,
but
stuff
I saw
like that.
In the little icon or something that said this is a Wednesday, Thursday drama or Tuesday, Wednesday drama or whatever. It kept popping up. So I was were they just on a time crunch? Because maybe they're just we don't have time.
I don't know. But then there was even a shot where you saw a production person in the background. And I was you could tell it was an error because it's a mid shot of Rain from like the chest up, and you can see the background. They're at the full house, and it's just wooded, and it's supposed to be a very secluded area, right? No other houses around, but there's this random dude in the background, and then he like ducks out, and I was like, oh shit, this is a mess in the best way possible, because
I was gonna say it takes nothing away from
exactly.
It only adds. It enhances experience.
It enhances it. Also, why were there so many bugs in the frame?
So many bugs.
Literally,
when you mentioned the woods, I immediately was like, "Oh, the bugs!
The bugs.
So many bugs."
Yeah, I was so confused why there were so many bugs, and like not little bugs. I'm talking like a giant fly, moths that you see come up to the window and stuff, because they're in a very secluded area. That was I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a bug in a recent K-drama.
Well, because I don't know what. Climate change. Who knows? It was a lot though. There was a lot of.
So
bugs.
I know. So the location of the house, the full house, is a house built specially for the series.
Wait, I want to pause for a second and just mention that, because I don't know if anyone hasn't seen this, but Full House is the name of the house she lives in.
Yes.
Did you say that? Okay. It's like it's just name of the house. We're not just weirdly calling it the Full House.
No. I think I said it in the
Maybe you
My
said
Drama.
it.
The My
Yeah, I was
Drama
gonna
list
say, you might have
synopsis
said
says it. Han Ji-eun, an aspiring
Okay.
scriptwriter, lives in a house called Full House, built by her late father. So when we say Full House, it could just use context clues. It's either the name of the show or we're talking about the actual house, okay?
Yeah.
So Full House is a house built specially for the series, and it's located in Gwangyok-si area of Incheon near the airport, and it's only a 10-minute boat ride from Samuk Harbor. I don't know if it's actually still there. I don't think it
Probably
would
not.
be.
I doubt it.
It's been 20 years. I don't think this house that was specifically built for the production is still there. I would be really surprised if it was. The house was made mostly of wood and cost about $1 million US dollars to build. So
I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was wondering, like, why are they on the beach and like what body of water? And I was like, how do they get to Seoul so fast all the time? Like, they're going from there to like Gwanghwamun in like 5 seconds, like all the time. And I'm like, how is this happening? And then he gives her a bike, and I'm like, okay, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But
no,
like,
but
where is this house?
I agree with you, because I think we're trained once we watch K-dramas that waterways are far from the city.
Except for the Han River, yes.
Except for the Han, you're right. Except for the Han River, every other body of water is far away. And this was, by the end of the show, I was like, this is not the ocean. This can't be the ocean. This is a lake or something.
But it has like, it kind of had a wave, like a current to the body of water. So I was very confused. I was like, where are they? But you said the harbor. So now I'm like, okay, it's something. This is a thing.
Yeah. So
But
it's fine.
it still seemed far-fetched for them to run back and forth between like downtown Seoul and Incheon so fast.
Yes, I agree with you completely. What would you say your thoughts were on the OST?
I liked it.
So did I.
I liked it. I have no complaints.
I like the OST even to this day. I really love the main song that ends every episode. I just start clapping. Like, I don't know. I get really excited.
It was this show and Something in the Rain where I'm like, why is like an English song playing so much? It was like, that's the only thing that threw me about it. You know, English language.
I know. There was something really strange. Not the main OST. Like, there's like 2 main OST songs that they use throughout the show that are not in English. But there's other OST songs and just needle drops that I don't know why they're in English, and they're bad covers of different songs. Bad covers. Yeah. And honestly, it just enhanced the experience to listen to some of these. Like, there was a Dean Martin song or something.
They were also playing like 60s, like the Turtles, like Imagine Me and You. Like,
so, yeah.
I was like, what is this? Where are we going with the soundtrack?
It makes you whirl around and just think, what is going on? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
It doesn't.
But
the main OST songs are good, like you said.
Yes.
The main OST songs are really good.
Yeah. The main OST songs are good. And this is not a serious show. Like, let me get this out of the way. Like, this is not a serious show. This is criminally unserious. Okay.
Yeah.
Like this is the reasons why they get together are really bogus.
Or even I know we're gonna get to it, but like her best friend selling her house
Bro.
to an idol.
Yes. Okay. So this is part of the synopsis. I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler because it's just episode 1 basically. But how do I put this? If I don't think I would be this gullible, but if my best friends since childhood sent me off to Shanghai and said, you have a free trip, enjoy, you're going to have so much fun, we'll see you when you get back. And when I get stranded in Shanghai, have to borrow money from some A-lister that I met in first class and pestered and lied to get out of Shanghai back to Korea. And I get back, my house that my father built.
Deceased father, late father.
Right, late father built. They sold it behind my back. I think this would be a crime drama.
Yeah, for
This
real.
would not be a romance drama. This would be a crime
or like
drama.
Comedic drama. I'd be like, yeah, this is no.
So those two friends would not be my friends anymore, to say the least.
Much less ringing my doorbell, like breaking into my house and all this other stuff. So
I don't want my blood pressure to go up, and because honestly, I don't know how she stayed friends with them throughout the duration of the show. Yes, she kind of didn't put up with their bullshit for a few different scenarios that happened, but for the most part, she was on relatively good terms with them, and they swindled her out of her house. That was her only thing. She said this was the only thing I had.
Yep. That whole thing was weird because it's like, you've won a contest. What contest? I didn't enter a contest, you know? And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, you're sure it's first class? You're sure someone's going to meet me at the airport? They're like, yeah, it's fine. Just go on ahead. And like, they totally played her. And then she like was pissed at them, but yet still was like, they were still in each other's lives. And I just really couldn't wrap my head around that. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. You guys would have to change your identities and move, because I would be after you.
I would. You don't want to know what I would do to those two friends. And what's sad is that like she basically had nobody else. And I guess that's what the show is also trying to say, is that she had no other family, no other friends, just those two friends. And then they screwed her over.
An ironic name, Full House, because it was an empty house.
Oh my God, you're right. That's a great point, is that the house is called Full House. The house had 2 people in it at max. Max staying in it. So like we said before, Full House considered a pioneer of the rom-com genre for K-drama, and the drama was a huge success and helped propel the K-wave, Korean wave. And it spawned a spin-off, or season 2, however you want to look at it, Full House Take 2, which aired in 2012 with...
Who's in that?
I can't remember. It's another set of like K-pop stars.
Oh, okay. Good.
I can look it up really fast. But then also Full House spawned a musical.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it stars Nominu.
Who's that?
Oh, I know this guy. I've seen this guy. Oh my God. He is in The Forbidden Marriage. That's the most recent thing he's been in.
Okay.
And a bunch of other stuff. My Girlfriend is a Gumio, Pasta.
Okay.
If you look at him, you'd be like, oh, I know him. He apparently was the drummer for rock band T-Rex. Tracks? I don't know.
Tracks.
Probably Tracks.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty face. So that's Full House Take 2. Starred him and some other folks. So.
Oh, and then Hwang Jung-um, she was in She Was Pretty.
Yes.
Remember, with Park Seo-joon?
Yes, I know. Yeah. So that she was the female lead. One thing that I liked was this quote from Song Hye-Kyo, where she said in an interview, "In my previous work, I've only played very innocent, prude characters who are careful about their behavior and words. However, this time, Han Ji-eun is a completely different character. She is so bubbly and lively that I could say she is a bit bizarre and freaky. Thanks to this role, I've noticed that my personality, too, has become more bright and lively."
That's cool.
Which is a nice... I don't know. It was a really nice quote. And again... just puts in perspective how Song Hye-Kyo was choosing her projects back in the day 20 years ago. And it's kind of crazy to see how she's narrowed in and been sort of typecast, whether it's by her design or just those are the scripts she gets or what have you. I don't know what the case is.
She's like doubled down on like serious kind of people.
Yeah. It's really pleasant to see her in Full House, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Like there's something so nice about seeing Song Hye-Kyo just sort of
her giggling, her like, ha.
Yeah. She's giggling, she's goofy, she's loud, she's messy. All these things, it just makes her character really likable. Really likable. So what would you give this show out of 5 soju bottles?
I think I honestly would kind of rate it high, even though it's not like Shakespeare, but it is. I would give it like 4.
Me too. I think it's so lovely and really watchable. So much fun. I mean, honestly, a lot of fun, even though the plot is super repetitive. Not much is happening in the grand scheme of things. I feel like this was a genuinely cheap show to produce because they're in one location, just the house basically, and a couple other places. It's literally just them in the house. And it's great. It's really, really,
because it's so character driven.
Yes,
focus on the characters.
Yeah,
not like, oh, they're in Jeju and now they're in here. I mean, in the beginning when they go to Shanghai, there's a little bit of that, but then there's not like those episodes in other shows where like they go to all these exotic places and now the whole thing shifts. You know?
Yeah, it's not like Goblin or Descendants of the Sun or, you know, some of these other shows that in 2016 and stuff, that was the trend, was to just go out of the country and spend some money on taking the production overseas. That's not the case for Full House. They went to Shanghai. Well, actually, they did like film in Thailand and some other places, but
yeah, they did. But it wasn't as elaborately like integral to the story,
right?
And what they were doing, as it is in other shows,
right? Exactly. Yeah, it's just them just going stir crazy in the house and fighting and yelling and getting misunderstood and not communicating, and just it's very childish. And maybe that's what I like, is that I'm getting the high of maybe a high school show without the high school.
Yeah, it's like a WB show, like or UPN show. Am I dating myself? I'm just thinking 2004, you know, like it's giving Dawson's Creek. It's giving like
you're
Veronica Mars or something. I don't know. It's like giving these old shows of that time, at least in the US, like we had. So I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think nowadays it's probably a guilty pleasure.
For sure.
The last thing that I'll say before we get into spoilers is I was posting some TikToks about Full House, and this came up in the comment section. Some people were like, is this Rain? Oh my God, Rain looks so good. And then some people started posting about Rain's stinky breath. So real quick.
Yeah.
This is a vicious rumor that was started by an asshole idol who is now blacklisted and canceled for talking shit online about Rain and other celebrities. So
that's not why he was canceled, though.
No, that's not even why that guy was canceled. But I'm just saying,
he just sucks generally.
Yeah, he just sucks. So that guy who was posting about Rain's breath being stinky, and I don't know why this rumor still persists and people either believe in it or they believe in it as a joke. Either way, I don't find it that funny. In fact, it was it's not that funny.
And we all have bad breath sometimes. Like, I don't understand.
You know, it's just it was concerning when people were commenting on it on the video en masse, and I was like, are you joking or are you serious that you believe this rumor? I couldn't tell, and that was what was scary. That's why I wanted to bring it up now, is because this is Rain 20 years ago, before the internet basically was the internet.
Yeah.
And some of y'all are real goofy talking about Rain's breath when you're not even like, you were not even a thought in your mama's brain when he was making a name for himself and putting out music. And if you're listening right now and genuinely think that Rain's breath stinks, you better check yourself, because your breath smells like stale hot Cheetos and underage drinking. I swear to God, if you genuinely believe that Rain's breath stinks in a real palpable way that's like off-putting to other K-pop idols, I don't know what to tell you.
I will also say, that's not grounds, like that has nothing to do with anything. Even if it was
Right,
true. And
right.
what does that mean? That's not like an insult really. I don't know what that's supposed to say. The other thing is, I don't know, to contextualize for people who may not know about Rain or don't follow idols or K-pop, Rain is like, was huge.
Yes.
Like,
let's talk about the
huge.
reign of it. Because
he was a phenomenon.
Yes.
Okay. He's a legend. He was so huge, and he didn't have a group to help back him up. So it's not like if you didn't like most people liked Rain. It wasn't like I picked this member or that member to like. You just liked Rain himself, and he was the height of like sexy and like doing kind of innovative things that wasn't really happening in Korea to that extent. He had offers to do, and he did do, I think, Hollywood movies. I know a long time ago he appeared on like the Colbert Report or some like American thing. This is before K-pop idols routinely showed up on late night American talk shows. You know, I knew who Rain was before I knew a single other K-pop person, like years and years before I got into K-pop. And you have to respect, like, you don't have to like him or care about him, but you have to understand and respect that he was like a really groundbreaking artist. Mm-hmm. And he did so many things. And a lot of the people you like now, if you're a K-pop fan, were inspired by him. Mm-hmm. So you can hate him or like clown him for his breath or whatever you want to do, but he was and still is a legend, and he might not be the best like morally person. I have no idea. Like as far as I know, he's like not like a scandal-ridden person. And he's a father and he's a husband. He's got his own like life. He has a group called Cypher, I think, which is like a boy group now that's debuted recently. So he has a lot going on, and if this is what you want to choose to pick on him for, you can, but like compared to him, you're probably nobody. Just say. And I'm not like a huge Rain, like, you know, I like his music, but I'm not like.
Honestly, I think the bottom line is put some respect on his name, because Rain was doing this way before your favorite idol. And again, he's a pioneer. And I think a lot of people also don't like Rain because of his association with JYP, who was a tremendous mentor to him and signed him to JYP and stuff. I think a lot of people also don't know that Rain was pretty groundbreaking in that JYP and other industry insiders were telling him to get plastic surgery and get the double eyelid surgery, and he never did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen him on other shows being like, oh, I auditioned and didn't get into SM Entertainment, or like I auditioned for all these other companies. I don't know for sure if like JYP gave him his break or his chance or whatever, but I mean, they do have a professional relationship. Everyone finds JYP a little cringy, and that's whatever, but he stands on his own as well, you know, regardless of JYP associations, I think. At least by now, for sure.
I agree. Also, watch him in Ninja Assassin from 2009, because that movie is trash, but it's like good trash. So on that note, I think we're going to get into spoilers for Full House. So keep listening if you want to be spoiled or have already watched Full House.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
괜찮아.
You know, I have no signal. Oh, sorry.
Swear, disgusting shit.
What?
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
All right, we're on the other side of spoilers, so we're going to talk about Full House and all of the plot details. Not too many plot details because there's not that much to talk about. But Mina, I think you had something specific you wanted to start off on, so hit me with it.
Okay, I want to know why her bestie, aka someone who defrauded her, Jinhee, why was she never showing signs of pregnancy?
Okay, so... This is really bothersome to me. I have in my notes BFF who is pregnant but never looks pregnant, ? Because the whole thing of why they robbed her of her house and sold it under her was because she was pregnant and they were a couple of bums. They had no money. She got cut off from her rich dad, and they were like,
we're not married. So
yeah, they were out of wedlock and stuff. They were pregnant out of wedlock, and they needed money. They needed funds or whatever for the baby. Evidently, there was no baby because she never appeared pregnant throughout the course of the show. And I'm talking like it was illogical how she never seemed
like she was a size 0 the whole time.
Right.
But she also kept saying like the baby's coming soon. The baby's any day now. It's coming soon. Or like
what the hell is
imminent.
she talking?
I was like, no, I don't think so.
No, it's not.
And they kept like looking at her belly and being like, oh, the baby. And like, what baby?
What baby? Where are you hiding this baby? Because she was not with child. There's no way that woman was with child.
No.
And I remember thinking that too when I first watched Full House, was like, what the fuck is this? Like, she's not pregnant in no way.
They had some like health scares where like she gets pushed or she falls and it's like, oh no, we gotta get the baby, like we gotta go to the hospital and make sure the baby's okay. And it's like, okay, fine. But then later there was like, she looked exactly the same. Like there was never even a hint of a bump or a hint of anything. Nothing. No morning sickness, nothing.
I hated it. I hated it so much. And something else that I had a question about was Rain comes from an affluent, well-educated family. His father is a surgeon or a doctor in a hospital setting, well-regarded. And they said that Rain also got into medical school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, wait. Do we actually believe that Rain was a smart cookie and could get into medical school? That character.
I read this as more of like a nepotism thing. And I don't know how easy or difficult it is or was back then to do that. To be like, I'm the like chief of whatever of this hospital. So my son's going to med school. And the fact that it seemed like Rain's character didn't go to med school and didn't become a doctor to spite his father. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even about like his smartness or lack thereof was not relevant. It was just like, I'm here to disappoint my father. That's it.
Okay. Fair. You know, it never occurred to me about the nepotism thing. Wow.
And I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. But in the world of this, it could be. Like, why not? You know, this lady's never pregnant. You don't need to actually, like, apply to med school. You could just have your dad call you in to attend. But
I don't know. I also feel like Rain's character is had a little more integrity than that. I don't know. Maybe for med school, he was a little more serious and for everything else, he's pretty goofy. But anyway, let's talk about episode 1 because it starts with Rain shirtless in bed.
Yeah.
Which that sets the tone. That sets the tone for the whole show. Is like Rain getting up and going through his routine as a celebrity, and he has no privacy, and he doesn't like when people are asking about his private life and who he's dating and the tabloids and all this shit. Like, it's established that he wants some distance from the city, and it's no surprise that he wants this house that's secluded and by this lake, and there's no paparazzi whatsoever at the house. The friends swindle her and they send her on the trip. The flight over to Shanghai.
Oh my God.
Is a comedy of errors. It's hysterical. Yes. What did you think of this sequence?
Well, okay, vomiting on Rain, gross.
The meet
and embarrassing.
Cute. The meet cute is just one of the best meet cutes I've seen because it's preposterous and it's unrelenting. Everything that she's doing on the flight is unacceptable to pretty much any standard. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a person who likes to dress up for flights or go in your PJs and take a freaking teddy bear with you. Everything that she's doing is just bad practice on a flight.
Right. Just reaching over him, asking for more food, asking for this, asking the flight attendant for that, and then getting ill enough to puke on him. And
because she is shoveling. She's shoveling food into her gullet. And there
then,
is no
noticing her in-flight magazine and being like, "Hey, are you this celebrity guy? Is that you?" Like tapping him on the shoulder, like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "Bro, leave me alone."
He was like, he pretends to go to sleep, and she's like, "Oh, okay, rude." And I'm like, "Shut up, like Song Hye-Kyo, please." When she's tossing the nuts up, and she like taps him, she's like, "Did you see that? I caught the nut in my mouth." She catches it with her mouth. The throwing up all over him. She's like looking at his customs declaration card, trying to like to figure out how to do it, and he's like as if they're taking a test in school, and she's copying him, and he's like, ooh, like leaning over.
It's so great. Was like, you know how that you put on those cards like what address you'll be at in the country you're landing in. I thought he was like covering it because he was like, this could be like a crazy psycho stalker fan of mine. So like I don't want to know where I'm, where my address in Shanghai is going to be. So I'm covering it. Maybe I'm just too immersed in idol culture.
That's something that I didn't even think of, that his address might be on there and he doesn't want her looking at it. I think she was just, it's not just that she's nosy, it's that she's literally never been on a plane before, never been out of the country before. So she doesn't know how to fill out what to put on the customs card. Then she vomits all over him because she taps him and she's like, I don't know if you know this, but this is like my first time on a plane, my first time flying. Did you know that you can swallow to get rid of like the pressure in your ears? And he's listening to her, just rolling his eyes, doesn't want anything to do with her. And she's like, watch me. I swallow like this. And she goes like this to swallow. And she goes, what? Just vomits, pukes all over him. It's hysterical. And his shock, he's just like, it's like shell shocked. It's not even upset necessarily. He gets more upset later when he's trying to get the vomit out of his shirt. But oh my God, it's comedy gold.
I was recently in London a few months ago, and they had this exhibit for the Hallyu wave, the Korean wave, at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. And one of the things they had was like all this K-drama stuff, and they had everything like K-pop, K-drama. And they were just playing on a loop with the scene of them on the plane, but it wasn't like the whole thing, because you didn't just watch her projectile vomit the whole time, but it was like her like sitting down, like him sitting down, and her being like, oh, are you the celebrity? And they just kept playing on a loop, and I was like, oh, Full House, I need to watch that. And so that was great to see later.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's such a good scene. And really the hijinks that happens, this sort of slapstick comedy, is so common, I feel like, now in the lighter K-dramas, especially, not like the Squid Game, All of Us Are Dead, Kingdom ones, but The Glory didn't have any of this, but you feel me.
No. Yeah.
Her meet cute with the second male lead.
Yes.
When they go to the hotel, she finally gets to the hotel. She stiffs the cab driver.
That was brutal to watch.
I think you can possibly die of secondhand embarrassment from watching this show, because everything
certainly
that she
the
does,
first episode of the show. Yeah.
So she gets in there. Obviously, there's no reservation at this nice hotel. But the second male lead rolls up, starts speaking Japanese on the phone. And when he hangs up, he looks at her because they're both standing at the check-in counter. And she starts talking to him in Korean, thinking he's Japanese and doesn't understand Korean. And she says stuff like, why are you looking at me? Do you think I'm pretty? And I was like, oh, shut up. Like, just shut up, Song Hye-Kyo. And he ends up helping. Obviously, they turn to her. The front desk girl goes, you have no reservation. And she doesn't speak Mandarin.
English.
So,
or
oh,
English.
yeah, no. Was she originally
English.
started in, and then the front desk lady switched to English, and she didn't understand either.
Right.
So then he swoops in and saves her, and he starts talking in Korean. And I was like, oh, God, this is so embarrassing. And he helps her get the reservation set up because he's speaking to the front desk lady in English. And when he walks away, she's just like, oh, like she puts her head on the counter and just, it was such a great moment. And he walks away smiling, which is an even greater, right? He was just
so
entertained,
dapper and handsome and cute. And I was like, oh my God, I love him. And
yeah, I just love those meet cutes. I love that bit of episode 1 because it hooks you in right away. Mm-hmm. The first episode also had something that was really questionable because towards the end, Rain brings her to this dinner with the second female lead and the second male lead, thinking that there's this huge misunderstanding. He thinks that Song Hye-Kyo is the ex-girlfriend of the best friend Min-hyuk, the second male lead. And he gets upset that that's not the case. She just said this, made it seem like she was related to him so that he would give her money so she could get the hell back to Korea because she had no funds. And he motions to like hit her. Like he goes like this, like raises his hand to hit her. And I remember this distinctly, that she calls him out on it, saying like, oh yeah, oh, you're a real jerk, and taunts him and goes like, hit me, go ahead, like hit me.
Yeah,
and then boom, she headbutts him.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah.
She was so.
I was like,
so
damn, girl. Like, yeah. She's like shameless.
Yeah, and so to get into the more like a little bit into the more, I guess, poignant parts of her character, she is an orphan. Her parents died in an accident when she was in middle school. She had to bring herself up in this giant empty house somehow, which they never fully explain how exactly that happened. And then her only two friends in the world like are jerks, and so she doesn't care. Like she kind of has like no F's to give. She doesn't care if you're a celebrity. She doesn't care about like, you know, kind of pretense. So when he's acting like that with her, she doesn't care. She's like, oh well, go ahead and hit me. What are you gonna do? Like doesn't have any. Could care less. She has nothing to lose by being kind of tacky, and she kind of is like etiquette wise a little on the tacky side because
super tacky.
Her, yeah.
At the party later, I think in episode 2, they go to like this launch party, and she shows up, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Because he refused to take her to the party. So she just shows up, and she's eating at the buffet, and she drops like chocolate or something on her dress.
Yeah.
And she's like,
the way she was filling up her plate too, with like everything from the buffet table.
I
and,
know.
Like eating stuff from the buffet table while also like trying to put on the plate.
It's painful. It's painful to watch.
It's a lot of cringe. It's a lot of cringe for us, the viewer.
Yes. But she has, I mean, you touch on like her personality traits, but I also think that she has a lot of pride because when she finds out that Rain has bought her house and he's living now in her house, he asks her if she's homeless, and she never thought of it that way, that right now she's destitute and homeless. And he tries to give her money out of pity. He's like, just take this money and go and live your life and like figure out your situation. And she takes this gesture so badly. She doesn't consider herself at all homeless. And out of pride, she rejects the money and storms out. So it's interesting to see how I mean, if I was in that situation and someone was like, here's a wad of money for you to just get back on your feet, I would be like, you know what? Thank you. Because I don't have a penny to my name right now. They've cleared out my savings. She doesn't have a home. Like, she really didn't think it through and had a bad temper about it, whatever you want to call it. And she storms out of the house.
Yeah, but I think the fact that her late father built the house with his own two hands and designed it, and that's all she has of that family.
Yes.
That's why she's like, I'm not fucking leaving. Like, look. Like,
but then also, my thing is, she doesn't report the friends to the police.
No.
Which would essentially start the criminal process because they committed a crime. So I don't understand that either. It's like she has no, like she wants to stay in the house. She's imposing upon this guy who thinks that he bought the house fair and square when really it was fraud. And like she doesn't try and remedy the situation in any legal way.
I wondered about that too. I was like, is it because she doesn't have like legal funds, you know, for that, or like what that would entail? Like, it's not as simple as you file a police report and it's over. You have to like get lawyers involved, and you have to like go to court all the time. And she has her little internet writing to do, or however she makes money, or whatever she does before this happens. So I wondered if that was, and also the loyalty to like her friend Dong-wook, who is the guy,
right?
Her couple friends, that's her childhood friend, and maybe he did in some point in her life look out for her, and she does view him as family, so she wasn't gonna sell him out, even though they sold her out literally. She wasn't gonna sell him out. I don't know. That's just the thoughts I had about that, because I also was like, can you sort this out a different way? But
I think yeah, that whole thing is like a debacle to me. It's very baffling to see how she handled the situation. But one thing that I think is really nice about the show is in rewatching it, I saw that Rain's character, Young-jae, started to like her almost immediately, which I thought was very, I don't know, it just made me really happy. You know, he kicks her out of the house in episode 2.
Yeah.
She catches a really mean high fever, and he takes care of her and he cooks her porridge and he lets her stay in the house and all this stuff. And then when she is pissed after he offers her money, she goes down the street to the local bus stop and he watches her. He is driving out for something in his little tiny Mercedes car. And he's watching her at the bus stop, like annoyed. He's like annoyed when she mouths off at him, but then he wants her to be okay and he's worried about her well-being, and he sort of tricks her into coming back to the house and signing this weird agreement that says like, oh, I'm going to be your maid, live-in maid, and I'm going to work off like the value of the house or something like that. It's really weird. Yeah. Which he doesn't have to do all this. You know?
I know. I wondered, like, I kept trying to think of reasons, like their motivations for everything that they were doing. Because honestly, the first few episodes, I was just baffled. I was like, this is all happening too fast. Like, she's in Shanghai, and now she's like penniless, and now she's back in Korea, and now she's on this like double date, and like all this stuff is happening so fast. And so, with regards to like why he wanted her around, like I think he liked her, like you said, because maybe the fact that she's so like doesn't have pretension, is not fazed by him being a celebrity, and that's refreshing for him because everyone's always like trying to grab his attention and impressed by him everywhere he goes, and she's not really. And that she has her own pride, despite like he was like, here, I'll throw money at this problem like I do to all my problems maybe, and that didn't do anything for her. And then but I think he didn't want to be alone. That he wanted seclusion and all that. He just didn't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, exactly. I think he really craved that extra person because he's been alone for so long. He doesn't have a good relationship with his family. He eats alone and everything. And so she's livening up his life. And even in episode 2, where he refuses to take her to the launch party, he gives her shitty ass script to his manager at the party and is like, hey, like, check this out and see if it's any good. And even though he doesn't say like, it's this lady that's living in my house, he swears this is her house and she's now my live-in housemaid. He doesn't give any of that context, but he actually is trying to look out for her and trying to push her work forward. And I was like, that's a huge step. You know,
I think it humanized him because it's especially nowadays in K-dramas when you see chaebols or like celebrities or powerful people characters, they're always like heartless, cold, and horrible. And Young-jae character is so humanized. He has this like whole sad sob story, backstory, this thing with his family. His life isn't easy. I thought one of the really well done scenes, and you're the film critic, so you tell me, but was in episode 1 when he's going through the press call or whatever, the press thing, like continuously saying the same, like regurgitating the same answers to the same questions in like various languages and like these kind of canned responses. And his life isn't that great, even though he is a celebrity and what most people, especially in 2004, perceived as being like godlike or being like the luckiest man on earth. He wasn't that.
Yeah. I love that scene. And it reminds me, I don't know if you were privy to the press tour of A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
A little bit.
Okay. This was a phenomenon, but because of the internet, this made the rounds of Lady Gaga doing the canned response of it. Whether if there's 100 people in a room, all it takes is one person to believe in you.
Right.
And she said this same thing every time. And it became so memeable and so funny to hear these supercuts that people made of her saying the same freaking response over and over. It's real. Like, that felt like a very real scene.
Not only
to
is
see
it real,
him
but now
going through
in modern day, it not only is it real, in modern day we have that context now that like the smoke and mirrors of being a celebrity is a lot more lifted now compared to in 2004, where that might have been people's first time realizing what it's like to go through a press call like that.
Damn. Right, exactly. I completely agree with you that it did pull back the curtain a little bit and inform his character and see that he's lonely. you know?
Aw, poor little Rain.
Poor little Rain, but don't feel too bad for him because he's like kind of a terror the rest of the show.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tyrant. So I was confused about the second female lead because
Oh my God.
Let's talk about Haewon because Haewon is a freaking mess.
Yeah.
Mess. And she had feelings for Min-hyuk, the second male lead. So there was a love square that was happening in the show for the bulk of it. If you're into love squares, then good on you. This is a show for you. So in episode 2, she is trying to assert her feelings over the second male lead, over Min-hyuk, and Min-hyuk is not having it. He's like, I don't like you. I see you as a sibling. We're not good together. You don't really like me. He's challenging her feelings. And he says, also, Young-jae likes you. Young-jae has feelings for you. And it never occurred to her in all the years that they've been friends that she has friend-zoned like Young-jae, essentially. And so at this big party, she aggressively and cruelly confronts Rain about his feelings. And she's like, do you like me? In a maliciously, you know? And challenges him to confess on the spot. And that's when he goes, instead of actually, broaching the subject with her, he takes it badly and he says, I really like you, Han-ji-eun, and grabs Song Hye-Kyo's character and pulls her in for a kiss. And that's how the episode ends, in this big, like, oh my God, with all of these other celebrities and people in the industry and paparazzi and media there. He does this huge gesture in front of everyone and declares that he likes Han-ji-eun. So it just spirals from there. The contract marriage and stuff, which I don't know why they would jump to marriage after that. Like,
I think because like in conservative societies, it's hard to justify living together as like a guy and a girl unless they're married or engaged or something.
You're right.
I don't know. Again, that was the only thing I kept thinking all these things. Like, what is more? I need like more backstory to be explained, and they didn't explain like anything. So I was just filling in my own blanks as far as what's going on. But that was my take on it. It was like they needed to like show like a legitimate reason to be living in this house together, other than she's my live-in maid.
In episode 3, she gets kidnapped basically by his estranged family. And she meets the grandma for the first time, the Halmoni, and Han Ji-eun has no idea how to kowtow. Yeah. Like the big bow. Yeah. And it's funny. It's really funny. And even now I think it's funny. The grandma is not happy that her parents are dead and that she's 20, she's only 23, and that's what she says in the show, that her character is also 23. So she matches the age of the character in real life. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was so refreshing. This is something we don't see in K-dramas nowadays. This overt Koreanness, right? Like, what is the grandma so upset about, right? It's that he got engaged and she's never met this girl before. He's never taken her by the house. He's never introduced her to the family. She's just going to become part of the family without having met them. And that's why she's upset, because in their culture, that's just frowned upon. And then she comes and meets the elders. They kidnap her. Like they're like, get in the car and come. So, but anyway, she gets there. She's meeting the elders and she doesn't bow deeply and respectfully. Enough. Yeah, she does this weird curtsy, which is funny, but it's all funny.
Her awkwardness is so cute. It's
I know. Cute. She's super awkward. And the grandma's not happy about her being an orphan. And you're like, what gives? What does it matter that she's an orphan?
So I will speak to this a little bit. And again, I'm not Korean, since this is a voice podcast thing, but my family's South Asian. They're from Bangladesh. And in that culture, with like arranged marriages and things like that, having a quote unquote good match means like, you come from a comparably good or better than your family, and families marry each other. Like, it's your family marrying their family. So they have to come from a good family. Having, at least how I understand it, and this is again, my understanding, I never lived in Bangladesh, so like I don't know what I'm talking about necessarily. And this is like an old school thought anyway. I don't think this is something that is still a thing. And I think grandma represented definitely like old school Koreanness versus whatever was going on in 2004 and beyond. But I know in my family, I've kind of heard here and there about like marrying an orphan can be considered, if you buy into this old school frame of thought, a bad thing, because it's not like you come from a good family, you come from no family. You have nothing. So you have no like title or lineage or this or that, or I don't know. And I also kind of struggle to understand why that's like a quote unquote bad thing to that extent. I kind of realized or identified more with like the whole grandma getting upset that we don't even know this girl. You never introduced her to us. Like, you know, who is she? Like, how come we're meeting her now like this? And we have to hear about this after you're engaged or whatever. But yeah, there is possibly a school of thoughts, and again, consult a Korean person because I don't know, that marrying into an orphaned person's life, I guess not because they don't have much of a family. In this show, she didn't have like extended family either, like aunts, uncles, or anything. So she's just her alone. So there's nothing to go off of. You don't know if she's like from a good family or not.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's exactly what the case was that she doesn't have people. Like, she doesn't have people to back her up. She doesn't have people to teach her right from wrong. And that's why I think in a lot of older shows, especially when kids are orphans or when young people are orphans, they're like, no, they're just going to be a bad influence because they have nobody at home that's keeping them in check.
You also have no one to reflect back, like what kind of person you may be. So if I'm meeting you for the first time and I don't have any context, you're not like, my father is a judge, or like my mother was a school teacher, like that. You kind of start to formulate like, oh, you're probably maybe motherly because your mother was a school teacher, so she's probably good with kids. So you can form all these little background stories in your mind. If you are someone who doesn't have parents, or you were not raised by parents, there's nothing for people to go off of to judge you. And unfortunately, that's what they want to do, is like judge. And I also do know that in Korea, they used to do arranged marriage through like the 90s. It was like not uncommon. So I think all that combined was just like showing its ugly head in this episode.
Yeah, and throughout the show, whenever she visits the in-laws, there's different things that are so Korean. It's so much steeped in their culture that you feel, and I still feel, like this show had no idea that it was going to be seen by anybody outside of Korea. And that's a nice, right. I feel like that's a nice feeling to see, like the raw, was intended not for me. And I'm gleaning so much from it. I'm getting so entertained by it. I love these characters and I'm learning, right? I'm learning about their culture. I can look things up. The same thing happens later in the show where they come back from their honeymoon, which we will talk about the honeymoon. But they come back and they go over to the house after getting a mad call. Like, they call over and the in-laws are pissed. They're like, get over here right now. Why aren't you at the house? Why didn't you come visit us? And Hyun comes over and she's wearing regular clothes. And the grandma says, like, why is she here in regular clothes? She should be wearing hanbok. Which again, this is part, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is very Korean, right? We don't get this in recent dramas where it doesn't necessarily matter that the newly married couple go to visit the parents and the bride is wearing hanbok and they bring this traditional dinner for them to eat and stuff like that. That's all culture that we're not getting anymore in K-dramas, because they're building these K-dramas and making them for an international audience.
But they also I don't think they do that because I can tell you in Bangladesh, there's not as many people walking around in like saris and stuff like that. There are, but not,
right.
Like, you know what I mean? There are for sure. But I mean, like the whole, like a ceremonious, like I need to greet my grandmother-in-law with like home cooked traditional dishes that's proving how well I cook in traditional outfits, showing I know how to how to be a traditional quote unquote good girl. Like that's like a whole ceremonious thing. And I don't know that anyone's doing that anymore. Right.
Because it's 2023. However, in 2004, I feel like they were still on the cusp of this.
Right.
This era of like new school and the old ways. And the grandma keeps saying throughout the show that she needs to move in with them so that they can teach her things. And I'm like, what are they trying to teach Han-ji-eun? And they're talking about cooking, cleaning, the family ways, societal rules, these sort of ceremonial things that she has no idea because she's been living in Full House by herself for most of her life.
And now in Korea, you don't need, like, the emphasis is not on that as much because everyone works outside of the home, like both men and women. People are like ordering Uber Eats or whatever the Korean version is of that, coupon eats to their home for food. They're not like cooking a bunch of stuff and wearing hanbok here and there. So that's why we don't see it now, I think. And I think you're right. You hit on something, which is that this millennial kind of show where they're still kind of got one foot in like traditional Korean stuff that was more important back then and old school style of thinking versus this modern. Because like the mom Rain's mom or the character's mom does not
She's
care.
not, she doesn't care as much. She's just like, just let them be happy. It's fine if they don't visit us right after their honeymoon. Like she's like a peacemaker. She's very sweet and caring, and she'll cook anything that Han Ji-eun likes and prefers food-wise, but she's really just a product of, being subservient to her mother-in-law, this grandmother character. So she's just going along with whatever she wants or is complaining about, but she's not believing the
Right.
that stuff. Yeah.
No, she's not into that.
Yeah. The in-laws playing Ghost Op as well.
Oh my God, so cute.
I was like, this is adorable. I miss this stuff. Seeing
but that's
this
just
in the
how
K-drama.
endearing she was, that she endeared her. I mean, she kind of grew up seemingly without grandparents, without elders, and she fits so well into a family. And it was like kind of heartbreaking when you stop to think about, like, she didn't have this kind of familial, like, we're just going to informally play Ghost Stop, or like, I guess in America play Monopoly or whatever it is, like family game night stuff. But she fits in so well despite her like kind of tackiness, her kind of unpolished, presentation. She is just like a super endearing and real person, and endears herself to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, she becomes Three Bears to the family because when she goes up, this scene is fantastic. They're like, you didn't bring any gifts to us after the honeymoon. And she was like, well, I prepared a gift for you guys. and then she goes, I brought a song for you guys. I prepared a song. So she stands up and performs this children's song about the Three Bears, and the look on their face when she finishes the song it's just seared in my memory because it's so funny, and they're shocked that she's like so childish and almost like she has to be joking, but she's not. She was completely sincere.
Right.
Oh, God. So then they call her Three Bears for the rest of the shit.
Yeah.
Three Bears is coming over. I called Three Bears, and it's so great.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing that I thought was like, oh, man, we don't see this in K-dramas anymore is Han Ji-eun pricks Rain's finger after he nearly chokes on like bibimbap. That he made fun of her for eating bibimbap, and then later he's alone in the house. She's not obviously there to cook for him, and he creates his own bibimbap bowl, and she walks in on him stuffing his face with this bowl, and he starts choking on it. So indigestion, right? Mm-hmm. This was a thing. Like, this is an old wives' tale, right? Where
or like maybe it's related to like Eastern medicine.
Yeah, exactly. Where if you have indigestion or stomach issues, you prick your thumb, and it just solves the issue. So I mean, that
ain't gone.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, when was the last time I saw someone prick somebody's finger in a K-drama for getting rid of stomach issues? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I was very excited to see again.
Everything she did, and again, I am an overthinker, so I was just like overthinking all this stuff, but like the singing the Three Bears and using these kind of old remedies, old wives' tales type remedies, I think it's just everything she remembered her parents doing in the short time they were with her is what she just kept like modeling. So she's like, I know this nursery rhyme they used to sing to my parents, and then they unfortunately passed away by the time I reached like adolescence, and I can do these like really old school remedies, but because that's all that she had time to witness them doing for her, and so she takes the care and whatever she had from her family for the short time that they were there, and kind of like puts it back out in the world everywhere she goes. It felt like,
yeah, Han Ji-eun is such a cute character, truly. We're jumping back to episode 3 because we were jumping around with like the Koreanness stuff, but in episode 3 she tries to run away from the wedding, which I found really kind of funny, like the runaway bride thing, because she fights with him and is like, I'm not getting married to you, why am I doing this? And she goes over to her swindler friend's dump of a house to get away, and they trick her into going to the wedding venue, which unbelievable. I was like, wow, she's really stupid and gullible. But I love to see the wedding scene because his dad is really sweet to her, and he tells her that she looks beautiful and that, you know, his boy is short-tempered, but he's a good kid. Please take care of him. And he walks her down the aisle since she literally has no family. And I found that so just emotional. And even though the show is unserious, like we said before, this moment was really nice.
Okay, but that wedding dress, though, was...
The ugliest wedding dress I have ever seen. The back of it looked nice. Because it had the long back, the long train and stuff. And then you look at the front and I'm like, what is going on, girl? Like,
even for 2004, I was like, I don't know what is happening right now, like, at all.
Like, it was short and there was a lot of like loose lace or something.
Yeah. A lot of little ribbony things.
I don't even know what
was 80s in the front. And
yeah,
like
I don't.
Classic in the back. I don't know.
I was like, girl, they did you dirty with this wedding dress. Because she didn't pick it. It was all just sort of arranged for her. But then you get the honeymoon scene.
Yeah.
I freaking love the honeymoon. It is so
fighting.
stupid.
Thailand.
The Thailand honeymoon. So he says they should work out their fight. They fight. They're always fighting. And obviously they're not sharing a bed. And so she's like, where am I going to sleep? And he says that she's going to sleep outside in like Thailand in the summer.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not sleeping outside. So they have a little fight. And she says that they should work out their fight like grown-ups. And he starts like unbuttoning his shirt and insinuates that he wants her. And she gets totally spooked. And she like falls overboard at some point. And, like he has to save her because she can't swim. I'm like, this is never ending. It's a one like comedy set piece after another. Of course, he saves her life. And it looks like she's drowning in a cup of water, though. Like the water level is not very deep.
Well, and then there's two scenes of fighting over the bed because in the the yacht or whatever, and then also the guest house or whatever.
And then and then in the actual house that they're staying at. Fun. I like this moment too. Is when after he saves her, he feels her forehead to gauge if she's got a fever because she was sick before, so he knows that she's prone to these high fevers or whatever, and she just got completely submerged. So. I like it. He's caring for her in like his own way.
Yeah. I also like the fight over the bed when the actual bed in the guest house.
That one is
that was so funny.
All time. Yeah.
Where they're just like rolling around and like yanking covers and like, you know, like trying to like hog the bed.
Yeah, because he says seductively that they can share the bed and she's like, no, goes outside. And she gets mad and comes back inside, calls his bluff.
Isn't there mosquitoes? Like the first bug experience of the show.
Yes, there was like bugs outside in Thailand in the summer, and she comes back inside and she's like, I'm not sleeping outside. So she like rips off her little tiny sweat shirt that she was wearing. And she gets in the bed with him and she's like, haha, I'm not that easy to like, you know.
Yeah.
Then he gets mad and rips off his shirt, which I'm like, here we go, shirtless Rain again.
Yay.
Yay. And he takes off he takes up the most space on the bed.
Yeah.
And then he tries to like.
Funny, their like size difference is so comical too. She's tiny and very petite, and he's like buff, and he's like quite tall, and it's just so comical to watch them fighting on the bed.
Right, it's great. I really like.
It's not like weirdly sexual or suggestive. It's just like kids
it's not. Yes,
fighting. It's like argue with your brother over like space on the bed or something.
Exactly, that's exactly the dynamic that they have. Even though it turns romantic, the early episodes especially feel like they're just fighting siblings.
Yeah, or cousins or something.
Or cousins or something.
Platonic.
Yeah, it's just comedic tension, not sexual tension, even though Rain is shirtless and she's got a tank top on. Like, I don't feel like anything's
played, because especially if you're in 2004 living in Korea and you love Rain, or you at least are aware of how famous and popular he is, and he's like out here getting shirtless, but then they're playing off this like Laurel and Hardy comedy thing like on, you know, during all this. I think that was like really, that was the part where I was like, they're both acting pretty well here, like in those types of scenes.
Mm-hmm. He teaches her how to ride a bike.
Oh my gosh.
Which there's something about this that really just cute. Scratches an itch. It's funny when they're in Thailand because he's like, why can't you get it? You're so dumb. Like, why can't you ride a bike? But then she starts wailing like a kid when she falls off the bike. And he goes, stop crying, I'll buy you ice cream. And she's like, do you think I'm a child who you can just placate me with ice cream? Cut to, she's happy as a clam eating her ice cream. And they have this nice day out on the town where she's riding behind him on the bike. He's obviously riding the bike. And they fall asleep on the park bench overlooking the ocean sunset. And I'm just like, this is it right here. Like, if you weren't invested before this, you should be invested by episode 3 with like
it's
them.
nice because it's not like enemies to lovers where they're just being like hateful to each other in a way that's so cynical. They are like obnoxious to each other and they're like bickering the whole time, but it's not so like I don't know. For me, I sometimes don't like the lovers or enemies to lovers kinds of plots because it's just tired. And even in this show, I think there were moments where they got tired how much they were bickering and stuff like that. But for these first episodes, it's kind of nice. And it's also not like I'm pining for you secretly and you don't know it. And now we're like, you know, one of them is looking longingly at the other. It's just like, just a really good, like,
it's genuine.
They're getting more comfortable. Yeah. They're getting more comfortable with each other and they're like genuinely like getting to know each other and liking each other at the same pace, which is kind of nice to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So from then on, it just becomes basically a record skip of a show because it'll be fight after fight after huge fight. He comes home late, doesn't tell her. He loses his wedding ring and she gets upset over and over again. And it's just them making up with each other. It's the cycle, you know, fight, the makeup, and then they fight and make up over and over again. Did you have certain moments that you really liked throughout the rest of their sort of like relationship before they get divorced?
I know, God. And her post-divorce glow up. We need to talk about that later.
Oh,
post-divorce glow up.
Yes, we will. The glow up.
But I have in my notes for Lee Young-jae, who is played by Rain, I wrote, never not shouting, an actor but has very little to do, for some reason at an editing meeting. And then I wrote, squatting at her house, essentially. He's a millionaire. He can literally live anywhere else. So unnecessary. So that was like some of my hot takes where I was just getting pissed at the whole situation.
So let's talk about each note. So the first one is never not yelling.
Yeah.
Rain, I mean, I've seen Rain in other things. Obviously, he can emote in different ways and not just holler the whole time. He is literally blowing out the mic every time he's yelling. Yeah. And the freaking echo that's in the house.
Yeah.
Unbelievable how much he's yelling in the show.
Also the insults, like really petty, but like so repetitive, it just honestly gets annoying. Where he's like calling her his little rice cooker, and like the machine, the appliance, yeah, and then like the chicken or whatever. Like I don't know, like she was getting so mad, and I was like on her side because I was like, this is annoying. He's like, your brain doesn't work. Your brain, like he was basically calling her stupid, but like he kept saying like something like you're messed up in the head. Like he kept saying it like that, and I was like, this is so tiresome.
Right, which is why I say it just becomes this repetitive thing over and over again, and it just depends on the strength of the individual like thing that they're fighting about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I need to go back though, and I don't know if this is the right time to do it, to Haewon, because
this is the right time to get back. So let's talk about this bitch. So she is the second female lead. She is this prissy, spoiled princess, and when she doesn't get attention, she is liable to just put herself in the hospital with some bogus psychosomatic illness. Yes. Yes, she's physically
So
making herself
absurd.
ill, and it's really annoying that at first she had these she could not detach herself from her feelings toward Min-hyuk, and then lo and behold, he rejects her repeatedly, and then she's all of a sudden like, I like Young-jae.
Yeah, and I guess there's like the appearance of Hye-Kyo, I forget her name in the show. Her character like suddenly makes her pissed and like competitive, and like I need Young-jae to like me again. And then she's like upset. Like both cases, she was weirdly obsessed. She was really fixated on Min-hyuk. Then she was really obsessed with Young-jae. And I needed like more backstory on this because like nothing they were saying made sense. It's like he's like Rain is like I needed to protect her and I used to buy her ice cream. And I'm like what? Like and they're talking. He's like this is my first love. But it's like stories from the second grade. It's not like junior high or high school where like a lot more like romantical feelings to be happening.
You're so right.
And I was like I don't get this. I don't get this.
She'll be like, remember that time that you bought me ice cream after I got pushed to the ground by that kid in third grade? And I'm like, third grade? Honey, you're like 25 years old. What are you talking about third grade for?
It was weird because there was no stories from like I think in American stories you hear like at sixth grade summer camp or like junior high dance or like high school whatever. They're talking about literally elementary school way before puberty and not to say that's not a valuable time in people's lives, but this like hold on each other that they have is so weird,
right?
Based on nothing.
The childhood, and then he promised her to be with her, or something, to always be there for her.
Because she used to get scared at
as
something
a child
at some time.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, I'll protect you. And it almost seemed like she was a substitute for his sister who passed away. His little sister passed away from, I'm assuming cancer, because they mentioned she like has no hair and she's really terminally ill. And that's also why he's like kind of in a fight with her dad, I think, his own dad, I think, because his dad was a doctor but couldn't save her, so some weird grudge there. And so since he couldn't save his sister, he's trying to save Haewon, and that's why he's stuck on her. But that was also like a weak sauce kind of story to me.
Yes,
as far as like, I know, because especially if you've known each other that long, wouldn't you have more like stories to talk about or reminisce about?
Right.
So,
and then same thing with Min-hyuk, where he seemed like he was close with Min-hyuk, but then at the same time he was like, I don't know when Min-hyuk's birthday is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know what Min-hyuk's like a 30-year-old man. How do you not know since childhood also, if you've been friends?
Min-hyuk, okay, what is Min-hyuk's deal? Because he's like media mogul. He's in he's like screen publishing, screenwriting. Wait,
one thing at a time. Hold on, because I'm not done with Haewon because
oh sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I'm not done with this girl. So Haewon, she just, I mean, at one point, I think in episode 5, she's having this pity party, and it's, in this case, she goes to like a bar or something. She's drinking her feelings, and Young-jae goes over to console her and be with her and just sort of listen to her issues because he's the crying shoulder always for her. And Young-jae ends up standing up Song Hye-Kyo's character, but that's a separate issue. Haewon says, I feel like dying because our second male lead, Min-hyuk, said that she doesn't love him. She just wants to possess him. And I was like, Min-hyuk, bravo. Because the truth hurts. Yeah. It's absolutely true that her love was all about infatuation and possession. And that's why when suddenly Young-jae was unavailable to her because he got married, she was like, oh, he's been taken from me.
Yeah. She was entitled to him as like her backup,
yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, super toxic, super rude.
But also,
so I don't like him.
Haewon seemed like she liked Min-hyuk. I don't know if I was reading too much into this, but it seemed like she liked Min-hyuk as like a status thing too. Like she didn't really even know him that well, and was just like, look at this like dapper, dashing, like I speak 3 languages and I have like, you know, the CEO of all these companies or whatever he's doing, and she just wanted like the idea of him, and that's maybe why he was also kind of like, no, bro, like it's not happening.
Yeah, she's like clout chasing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she works in fashion but has like 0 clients other than Rain's character. I was like, what is your life?
What a burn. Wow, what an observation. Yeah, absolutely. She had no other celebrity clients except for Young-jae, and every single time that we see her working, she's just fiddling with the clothes on the rack Like, what the hell was she even doing? Was she just looking at the clothes? Every time we see her at work, which is often, they reuse this set a lot.
Yeah.
She's just looking at clothes, just browsing the racks.
Waiting
and
for
then
him to
someone
come
walks
back
up
in.
and is like, hey, one. She's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah. She also looks at them like, oh,
Right.
Young-jae? Oh, it's not Young-jae? Oh, okay. I'm like, who else comes here? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is going on in this story?
Yeah. And then does she own this shop or is she an independent
At one point they
stylist?
call her like a designer. But I think she's a stylist.
Oh.
Like they call her a designer, like that's her store and her designs. But I was like, I don't know.
I don't know.
There's like that one sad rack and not much else. So like I think in a couple scenes they show a few other racks, but not that much. Like it's not like this popping store.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. She lost a lot of points for me when she had the psychosomatic illness and then she starts in on
Jiyeon?
Song Hye-Kyo's character and she insinuates that she's out of his league.
Yeah. And then she hides the wedding ring. Don't forget that part.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, I said that wrong. She insinuates that he's out of her league.
Yes. Yes.
And that they've been friends a long time. That's not about to change because he's married now. And she full on steals the wedding ring that he leaves behind at her place of business. And huge, like, I don't think she could come back from that, but yeah.
Well, I thought this for both Jinny and Dongwook, who are the married, like unmarried, common law married, like about to have a non-existent baby people, and
Yes.
Haewon, that they are all three of them are so crazily brazen. Like you're gonna steal your best friend's house and sell it to someone for cash, like fast cash, and you're like unapologetically showing up every 5 seconds. That's those two, and then Haewon trying to like come at this married woman. It doesn't matter how or what circumstances under which they're married or like what you think about whether or not she deserves him. Like it was just brazen, and the audacity of these people are killing me.
Yes, I agree completely. But we got some good moments because of these people. And here's two of my favorite ones. So for the two best friends who should be shot, they get into a huge fight with Rain because they show up at the house looking for homegirl and she's not in. So they just stay until she comes. And he's like, okay, do as you please, and goes upstairs, leaves them to their own devices on the first floor. And they start eating up the pantry. Like she's chopping up fruit as if it's her own house. And he's trying on Rain's clothes.
Yeah, they're opening rooms, they're opening closets,
Yes!
going through clothes, going through food.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's bedlam. So he catches them downstairs doing all this nonsense, and he's got his Rain's clothes on. And
Oh my god.
yes.
Rain's celebrity clothes are a whole nother
Atrocious.
situation. Yeah.
the vests and the tight tees and this, I don't know. Anyway, so I think Rain insults them. He's like, what are you doing? Starts yelling at them, rightfully so. And he calls them beggars. What kind of beggars are you guys? And the bitch starts throwing hands and was like, how dare you talk to my husband? How dare you like touch my husband and stuff like that? And starts hitting up on Rain. And like she comes home. Homegirl Song Hye-Kyo gets home at that exact moment. And the utter look of joy and relief on Rain's face when he pops up and sees her there and smile. It's just the smile that lights up his face. I love that moment. I made a TikTok video about it because I loved it so much. And she takes his side. She's like, won't you get your hands off my husband? And walks up and gets in their faces. And what does she say? I think the pregnant lady tries to block her husband from Song Hye-Kyo's character, who comes in pretty hot. And she goes, the pregnant friend is like, I can't believe you're taking your husband's side. And she's like, yeah, so what? And they cut to Rain's face, and Rain's like, oh my God, she's like taking my side. Right? It's like such a cute moment.
he's like ordering her around the whole time and being like, cook me this, cook me that, and clean this, and clean that. And it's kind of really annoying at that point. But then this is like her domain finally, where she has the upper hand and she has the power. These are her friends. She can get overly friendly and familiar with them because they are her literal friends. And he's like, I'm just trying not to hit a pregnant lady, you know, like he's like, okay.
Right.
But I really love that moment too, because she gets a chance to like be in her own, like in that moment, and stand up for him and her, and like kind of solidify this like weird relationship that they're building, even though they're calling each other like husband wife. That's not their relationship, you know, obviously. But she's like, how dare you touch my husband? Like I appreciate that. And never did I care about marriage until now, like the like like to this extent, like the sanctity of marriage until now.
Right.
Yeah. Well, how dare you touch your husband? How dare you?
Yeah, get your fucking hands off him. And then she scratches his face too, like he has a little cut in his face. She's like, not the face. She says, did you cut this Hallyu star's face or something like that? Like she says, how dare you touch his face? Yeah. It's great. And then she puts ointment on the little cut on his face, and he loves it. He's like, I'm right here. Like, please, let's stop bickering.
I loved was of the Full House. My favorite room was their bathroom.
Oh, the bathroom. Yeah.
Because that's where they're always like having these like moments they usually don't fight in the bathroom, or if they do, it's like very petty, like I like you but I hate you kind of fights. And there's like this intimacy there that there's no other way for them to express their feelings more than in the bathroom, because it's like, oh, I don't know if they necessarily literally do this, but like, let me hand you this tube of toothpaste, or like whatever, like this is your towel, this is my towel, like that kind of stuff. So I really liked their moments in the bathroom, which was like a weirdly pivotal place for their relationship.
Right.
I feel like.
Yeah, and the kitchen too, like the dining table, I guess.
Yeah.
Were the two big places. Because obviously whenever she threatens to move out, or she leaves for the night, or she's out or something, he will look at her toothbrush and he's like, oh, I miss her. Like yeah, the bathroom is a good place, and so is the dining room table. I love the moment with when after he realizes that his ring is missing and he confesses that he lost his wedding ring to her. He feels extremely guilty, and even though he's sort of like yelling still, and he's like, don't get on my case, like if I forgave you for losing that recorder that I bought you for your birthday, you can forgive me for doing this thing too, for losing my wedding ring, and I'll buy another one, don't worry, it's coming, it's on the way. She draws on a wedding ring on his little hand.
Oh my god, I was like mad at myself for liking that so much. I was like, man, they got me. They got me so good.
They got me. I love that scene. It's so cheesy, but I love it. And the way she backs into it, she's like, you know, I found the ring. Today, I just found it today. And he's like, oh my God, where was it? And she goes, give me your hand. And she starts drawing on the ring. And he's like, oh, like, what are you doing? It's so good.
It's again them being childish and kind of innocent in the way they like go about it, and it's sort of refreshing, because sometimes
that's what it is. It's just
hot
like
and
the
heavy,
purity.
seductive. This is not that, but it's still so good to not have that for once.
I know. It's almost I don't know. This is a very rated PG, even if that rated G romance, and I'm eating it up. It's so adorable, and their moments are really pure. When they're good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's really annoying. But you know, they're just a couple of kids. I kept saying that in my head when I was watching, was they're just a couple of kids. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're in the early 20s. They don't they don't know how to love somebody. They don't know how to express their feelings, and that's the major thing about the show, is that even if you're getting frustrated that they can't just talk to each other, they have their own like immature complexes that prevent them from doing that.
It's weird too that they both kind of understand each other. Like they pick up on these signals. Like when he's like, from now on, talk to me by writing a note on the fridge, or whichever one of them says that, you know. And they can, or like when someone comes home late and they're like, oh, were you waiting for me? Are you pissed off right now? And like, you know, they can tell like something's going on. But then like, especially Rain's character, Young-jae, doesn't know his own mind. He's like so torn between Haewon and Jiyeon, but then she's like a lot less confused about it. And I thought that was like very like angry young man of them, you know, like he doesn't know, like he's so confused and he can't emote and all this other stuff. He's emotionally immature. He's just generally immature. But I just liked the way they portrayed the communication, the fact that you could tell that she's picking up what he's putting down, basically, even though he doesn't even know what he's putting down.
Right.
It was cool.
Right. I like that scene where they go visit Haewon in the hospital because he's sprinting to her bedside, and he doesn't need to say a word. She knows just by looking at his reaction to the news that she's in the hospital and seeing him sidle up to her at the hospital and just so concerned over her well-being, just completely cut up about Haewon. She's like, oh, he likes her, you know, and let me wait to go in the room. Let me just make myself scarce because this is who he really wants. And no words are said, right? Nothing is in this. This is all acting, right? This is not, you know, dialogue.
Right. And this is why, kind of what I was alluding to before, where like they didn't need to rely on flashy sets or a lot of different like on location shoots to convey a bunch of like get your emotions stirred up. It was like kind of cerebral. You're like in their minds. Like there's a lot of scenes where they're alone sitting in that big empty house having like thoughts about each other, and like even though they show a little bit of like, you know, she's thinking of him or he's thinking of her, like it's more even in their face when they pan back to their faces in that moment, just sitting there alone in the house, you can see it in their face. So I think both of them did a great job, and the directors and stuff did a great job of making that come through. Yeah.
Did you like the movie theater date that happened early on? So here's the thing. I thought it was cute because he had to come in after the movie started, left before the movie ended, this whole hullabaloo because he's a celebrity. But the clip that was shown of what they were watching, I was like, it's Van Helsing with...
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. First of all, I think it was a trailer for Van Helsing.
Oh, okay.
And then when the movie starts going and Rain sits down, the music is clearly Spider-Man. Like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that's Danny Elfman's score from Spider-Man. So it like threw me for a loop because I could not get into the scene without thinking Tobey Maguire's also in the room with him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Imagine.
Oh my
Kirsten
God.
Dunst and Toby.
Yeah. Did you have other moments that you really liked before we kind of get to the divorce?
Yes, I really liked. I know we're kind of tabling Min-hyuk a little bit, but I just liked how.
No, let's talk about him. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, I forgot to go back to him.
Sure, I know they were like, oh, he's a player, he's a this, he's a that, but like he was so, to me, and maybe I'm being fooled, but genuine with his affection for, because I think it was mostly affection really, or like he found her endearing and it was less like something weird or creepy. But with Jiyeon, when she was like, she's like, I'll buy you dinner, I'll buy you spaghetti. And he just was like, okay, sure. He like was like, are you serious? Like he's like having all these important fancy meetings and, you know, meetings in Shanghai and meetings and wherever and going to America. And she's like, I'm going to treat you at this like all you can eat spaghetti place, the spaghetti joint. And he's like, cool, sounds good. And he like lets her do it. He just like lets her like be who she is and how she is, which was such a nice change from Young-jae constantly berating her like, why'd you cook this like this, and why didn't you do this like this, and I need you home by this time, and hurry up and come to my premiere. Like yeah, it was a bad case of like second lead syndrome. Like you should have gone with him sometimes
because this is something that I don't know how the show managed to do. Maybe it's just the power of Rain in this role, but for such a bossy, rude, screaming match kind of male lead, I never wanted her to get with Min-hyuk. I was always like, no, it has to be Rain. I know he's emotionally stunted and can't express himself at all, and he's constantly making the wrong decision, coming home late, standing her up, God knows what else. And despite all this, I'm like, it's him or nobody because like they're meant
she's
to
the
be.
only one who's a match for him. You know, like there's no one else like on the planet who could be a match for Young-jae's character.
Right, because but logically, Min-hyuk is such a great option.
Oh yeah. Well, no, okay. So this is where my problem with Min-hyuk was similar to like the lack of backstory for Haewon, which is like, why is he following this girl to the spaghetti factory? Like, go get another like millions of other girls that you can hang out with.
She
like,
is not right, and she's a bad writer. He crafts her into a good writer. He's constantly critiquing her work and making her think about her writing and the craft of doing a screenplay and all that crap. So he's mentoring her. And she's so criminally unsophisticated.
And that's okay, I guess, but like then just be platonic. I don't know, this like trying to like win her over and like get her to see him the way he could tell she was seeing Young-jae.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I was like, why are you doing that?
And then she seems so young compared to him too.
Yeah, like unworldly, young, immature, all these things, and he knows. He's like really savvy. I was trying to also decide if I thought he was a player or not, even though we never really see him like dating a bunch of people.
There was only one scene where he was with Haewon in a bar, and he goes, "That you see that girl over there? She basically said she wants me," and like gets up and like goes to talk to this other girl at the bar, and leaves Haewon hanging. And that was the only indication that maybe he slept around, maybe he had multiple women or something. But when he was with Han Ji-eun, he was completely sincere. And I love the birthday date that he goes on with her.
Oh, yeah.
Where he tells her that he does have feelings for her and that most girls like him, which I thought was a little funky of him to say. He was like, most girls really like me. And he says, please like me too. I'm thinking of how to take you away from Young-jae.
Yeah.
And he tells her outright, like, I'm looking to steal you away from Young-jae. I know that he likes Haewon. I know there's issues. I know the contract marriage situation.
Well, also, like, the berating, constant he was mistreating her, Young-jae.
Yeah.
So Min-hyuk was like, you deserve better. You could be better off with me, etc. So
yeah, and he says
I liked him a lot, but what was his deal?
There's something about it that didn't sit right with me, and there's something about Rain that I was like, that's the one. That's the one that she needs to. I don't know what it is. It's really bizarre.
It's bizarre, and I wonder why she like charmed Min-hyuk, because I can kind of see how she charmed Rain's character Young-jae, because Young-jae was used to like everyone just like falling all over themselves for him. And even though Min-hyuk had a little bit of that too, Min-hyuk is like too cool for all that. So like when he still pursued her after a while, I was like, I don't understand why you're still. Like,
I think what it is like we said before, Rain and Song Hye-Kyo's character, they're just a couple of kids, and maybe it's the fact it feels like, you know, this is a side note, but my parents got married when they were real young, 20 years old, right? This is unheard of today. Like people get married when they're older today. Just that's the trend. And they have these crazy stories of them being young and married, and I'm like, y'all were just stupid together and like growing up together and going to college together. And it was very like their stories felt in a real way like the vibe of Han Ji-eun and Young-jae together, where they're just in this house, they're playing house. Yeah. Without the sex part. Like they're just like
exactly
digging around together all day long and fighting and learning how to make up with each other. He learns that she likes flowers, so he gets her flowers, and you know, it's very much a learning to be together story for them.
And growing together. And
Min-hyuk is a straight up a man. He's already done cooking.
He's an adult.
Right, he's an adult. He's not a kid by any stretch, you know? So maybe that's
why. Very mature.
Yeah, and it just doesn't click. And
but it's even more why I'm like, why are you so stuck on her? Because I feel like that plot line of him trying to pursue her went a little too long. Because at first it made sense. She's cute, she's endearing. He's like got this like kind of vibes with her in terms of like wanting to help her improve her writing, seeing potential in her. But then he just kept doing it for like a little too long for me. I was like, why are you still like hanging around, sniffing around her? Like, let it go.
Yeah, I think it's towards the end of the show that we see some growth with Rain's character. And I love this conversation that they have at the dinner table in episode 11, where now we have Min-hyuk like trying really hard to win over Han-jian, and Rain's character says, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever bought you a decent meal. I always stood you up. Jian, if you want to be with Min-hyuk, you should date him. You don't have to ask me, since the contract doesn't dictate how you should feel. Our marriage is just business, but your heart isn't. Your heart belongs to you.
Who knew that Young-jae was so woke? I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Such a feminist.
He's like, I'm pretty shitty to you.
Yeah.
And Min-hyuk is over here buying you luxury meals and taking you out. And the types of dates that you like to go on are just like window shopping and out in the town and stuff. And he does that with you. He gives you like what you want. He's there for you and supports you.
That's why I liked Min-hyuk so much. Like, she's like, I just want to eat street tteokbokki and look at through like window shop. And he's like, cool.
Yeah.
And he like so much of their marriage is Young-jae just being pissed off at her for something or another. And it is so emotionally, it's such an emotional like light bulb moment for him when he's like, oh yeah, you're like a person with feelings and interests and not just for me to order around.
Yeah.
And he sees that.
It's nice to see that growth and for him to try and be the bigger person and say, I have no claim to you, which is huge. I mean, even if this was written today, I'd be like shook about this.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was kind of joking about him being so like, emotionally woke or like emotionally in touch with like, I mean, I'm kidding, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's got this awareness that even in today's scripts is what you want to see, or in today's real life, communication with people, you want to see them realize this, that I'm not in charge of you. I'm not in control of your feelings. And that's not what this is. So you're entitled to your feelings and you're entitled to your whatever your real heart is.
Right. So things spiral out of control. There's some crazy rumors about Ji-eun being a gold digger, basically, and the family finds out about the contract marriage. And this is episode 14. Like, I'm skipping way ahead.
Okay.
At this point, Haewon has like relinquished her claim on Rain's character because she realizes that he has deep feelings for Han-jian. And Han-jian was like gonna go to the Venice Film Festival or something with Min-hyuk, and she turns right around. She's like, I can't go.
Imagine that would have been amazing.
I mean, in today's script, she would have gone and they would have been at the Venice Film Festival. They would have done the overseas shoot and everything. But so she comes back home and there's this whole misunderstanding because Rain's character sees them outside at the house, not at the Venice Film Festival. He comes back to the house drunk and sees them together, and he's like, oh, she loves him, or they have a relationship going.
Yeah.
I thought the most heartbreaking part of them breaking up and getting the whole divorce was her breakup with the family, her in-laws.
Yes. 100%.
Oh my God.
That was heart-wrenching.
Oh my God.
I have to say too.
Yeah,
real
go
quick,
ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is that I am reading this one book about Korean women's rights movements and the gold digger part, and I don't remember what word they used in Korean, but apparently, and I'm sure more so 20 years ago, but being a gold digger or being perceived as a gold digger, as bad as it is in America, seems like 100 times worse maybe in Korea. And again, I'm not a Korean person, so take it with a grain of salt. And I read one book, so I'm not trying to say this is exactly true, but it's actually like kind of social. I don't want to use the word suicide, but I don't know what other word to use for it. It's to like, for that kind of thing to come out that you're in a contract marriage with a celebrity and being perceived as a gold digger. It's extremely damaging to women's reputations in Korea, and again, like 20 years ago, more so. So that the family thinking that of her, because I just read that when I got to that part, I was like, oh no, this is like even more worse than maybe we're perceiving it as Westerners. So that was like kind of heavy-handed.
It was. And she kept trying to play it off like, it doesn't matter what people think of me. I know the truth. But it was extremely stressful and heartbreaking for her, especially when, I mean, the conversation that she has with his dad was the worst to me, because the dad says, I don't think it's appropriate for you to call me father anymore. Yeah. And you were never really my daughter-in-law. and I hope we never see you again. Like, these are really, and after him walking her down the aisle and being so sweet to her and supportive of her and the family, even in his stern way, I was
stop playing.
The ghost stop. I was honestly really cut up during this part where she loses this father figure, this dude who was a stand-in, and the whole going over to the grandmother's house, and the grandmother doesn't even want to see her.
She's like begging for forgiveness, and she's
oh
not
my
accepting
god,
it. She's not giving it to her.
Ugh.
That was honestly so difficult to watch. She was trying so hard, and I think too, like for her in the beginning when she's like, it's fine to Rain's character Young-jae, that it's fine if they're saying that, people can talk. That also, again, I connected to her kind of like, you know, I have no lineage. It's just, you know, I'm putting that in air quotes. I have no like history anyway, no reputation anyway. I'm already kind of seen as like an outcast because I'm an orphan potentially. Like I think she was like, whatever, I don't have any reputation to go off of anyway. What does it matter if people think I'm this like hateful gold digger? But like you said, it like wasn't something she could like sustain emotionally because it was taking its toll, especially when her own in-laws saw her that way.
Right. And there's a time, I think in episode 14, she gets home late and Rain has been waiting for her. He's super jealous and throws the whole Min-hyuk thing back in her face, which again, like, they flip-flop back and forth over the same tried and true fights. But anyway, he starts a fight and she's already just been through the ringer because of all of these rumors and because of his sort of constant abuse. And she says, do you even know what it means to protect someone? Is buying me ice cream when I cry protecting me? You don't even know anything. You know nothing. You don't know how to like someone, don't know how to express it, and you don't know what it means to protect someone.
Yeah. It felt like she was saying he never fights for her, you know, really in any real sense. And she was finally like, it got to her by then. She's like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Right.
So if he wants to be petty about Min-hyuk, he can, but she was like over it at that point. She's like reached her breaking point.
Oh my God, it was brutal. And then the frickin' press conference to announce the divorce, which he says a really great line in this thing where he said he's referring to her. Everyone thinks he's referring to some other woman, but he says, she's just ordinary and kind, but she's more special and precious to me than anyone else in the world. And he announces the divorce. Ugh.
But it's a divorce to protect her because of these like horrible rumors and stuff that attacks from the media.
And free her because she feels, you know, he thinks that she likes Min-hyuk and she's trapped in this contract marriage. And it's just sort of an effort to quell all that noise.
Which makes it even more meaningful.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like he loved her, she loved him, and they still couldn't work it out while they were still married. So it's a little wild. But yeah, it's very emotional. Episode 15, we find out he's been in a monastery for months.
Oh my God.
I was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
So random. Which, okay, wait, how many months did you say? Because I couldn't figure out how long, I'm like, what time had passed since their divorce?
So I think it had only been a few months. Because
like her hair was so long.
The friend is still supposedly pregnant.
True. Okay.
So even though the friend is not pregnant, they didn't even make an effort to look like she was pregnant. She is still within the 9 months of pregnancy.
I think she found out she got pregnant like the day it happened, the way that this pregnancy was
right.
Like, I'm pregnant.
Right. Week of.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, her hair was so much longer by this like, time. And she's like her like glow up that we referenced a little bit before.
The glow. She looks
trash in the house because she can do what she wants now because he's not there. And like
Yeah, she has the pigsty is back in the house, but she's a full-time writer, a serious screenplay, doing. I guess her screenplay is seriously going to be made into a movie, and they're shopping around looking for actors and stuff. So she's bona fide, like she's legitimate. She doesn't need his money. She doesn't need his clout. She obviously doesn't need the pettiness and him ordering her around. She doesn't need a maid or anybody to clean up after her. She doesn't care. And the fashion glow up, I don't know why, she just looks better after the divorce.
Oh my God. So they made her look, I feel like, because she is so beautiful. Song Hye-Kyo is just a gorgeous lady. And I think like you could tell.
And at 23, I mean, she's just unblemished. Like there's nothing to like.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah. But they
in her
made
prime.
her look so kindergarten or like tacky and to fit her character in the earlier episodes, and then we get to this episode and she's just like, herbal essences or like some like, oh my god, like maybe it's
she just looks more. She just looks more sophisticated, more elegant, more
she's
put
got
together.
Makeup.
Yeah. Her
like
style has just better makeup. Yeah, her style has just metamorphosized.
But I couldn't get why that happened. Like,
true.
Why did that?
Other than like
where did that come
the
from?
post breakup glow up is real. That's all. Like I chalked it up to that.
Face.
Right.
Revenge body.
Right. And then he ends up rushing back because Dong-wook, that friend that swindled her, says that she's sick. Han Ji-eun is sick. And he's like, what? And he comes back to the house.
I like how he didn't even care that his grandma was sick. He's like, she gets sick all the time. And then he's like, okay, well, Han Ji-eun is sick. He's like, wait, what? I gotta go.
What? You're absolutely right, because Dong-wook was like, your grandmother's in the hospital. And he's like, yeah, she's old. It happens,
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
Best gift ever.
A Lego set is a gift that always clicks. And clicks.
Woo, next level.
And clicks. For kids who love gaming, choose a Lego set. The gift that always clicks.
He's like, thoughts and prayers. Anyway.
Yes, sorrows, prayers. Yeah. But there is a huge emphasis in the final couple of episodes on asking his dad, for forgiveness, asking the family for forgiveness, which I still find so odd. This doesn't necessarily jive with me, and maybe it has to do with that culture bit that we're getting en masse in this show. But the filial piety, I mean, that honestly threw me for a loop in the final couple of episodes, where Ji-eun is like, you can stay in this house if you apologize to your dad so that I can basically get back in their good graces.
Yeah. I know there's some cultures where like groveling is like a very real thing you have to do. I don't know if Korean culture is or was one of them, or just in their family. That's like something that was expected. I don't know. It was weird, but there was that big emphasis, like he has to make this big formal apology and request or beg for forgiveness on both of their behalf. Right. So like it would also kind of absolve Ji-eun if he did this. So I thought that was interesting.
What did you think of his proposal?
I don't even remember it.
Oh my God. So he buys a ring thinking that she doesn't have her wedding ring from their contract marriage. And he presents it to her on the porch of the house, at the back porch of the house. And I thought it was really cute. He basically says that it's true. He doesn't know how to love her or make her happy, but that he's willing to learn if she'll teach him. And he'll do whatever she wants. If she wants him to sing, he'll sing. If she wants him to dance, he'll dance, whatever she wants. And, he tops it off with, will you marry me? And she's like,
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's coming back to me now. Yeah. Her reaction is what brought me back, because I was like kind of half listening to him, because I also was like not sure. Like I was like, I don't know why he's doing this. Right? Like I knew why, but I was also like,
I know.
He's so like kind of like hot and cold that I was like, okay, sure, he's proposing. And then her reaction of like, what are you talking about? It's been like not even 6 months since we got divorced. So like, I don't know think this through, buddy. Like, I don't know. It was interesting. I think he was being sincere, but it just goes back to his immaturity, I think, for me at least, that he has still no concept of like how to like be a person yet. He's still working that out for himself.
Right. And it's the totally wrong timing.
Yes.
He's just off. Yeah. He's just out of sync.
It's like an immature reaction to like try and resolve an issue. And it's like, okay, you thought this through, but you did not think it through correctly. So.
But in the next episode, the last episode, she rejects his proposal. She's like, yeah, but he like messes up her script or something. The computer doesn't save it.
Yeah.
And her work is lost. And then on top of that, she's like,
what
did you do?
In 2004.
No, we did not have the cloud. And plus, when she delivers one of the scripts to Min-hyuk, she gives him a floppy disk.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like my heart, the floppy disk. That's like a sign.
Real, you know?
I know. But anyway, and then he says that she has no talent when she starts like, what did you do to my computer? I can't find my work. It's all gone. And she's upset. And he says, well, you don't even have any talent anyways. And she's like, well, you know what? We're not getting married. I'm saying no to your proposal. And it's so good. I just love it. Because of course she's going to say no. Like he's not, at this point, what has changed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's just sort of this guy who thinks he can resolve things very like neatly and tidily, and he really glosses over a lot of nuance and like, you know, other like logistics of things. Like maybe his life was relatively easy as an idol or a celebrity, where people just hand things to you or like on a plate and like they figure stuff out for you and you just have to go and do whatever they said for you to do. So he's trying to operate in this like way that makes sense to him, but it's like he's not quite there.
And also, I feel like Rain's dad in the show is very serious. I can't imagine that man has a romantic bone in his body. So I am sure that when he grew up, he didn't see a lot of really good communication between his parents. So he's really just flying in the dark, flying solo, just trying to figure it out. And
poor little Rain.
Poor little Rain can't get it together. They have the Magic Land date, which felt a lot like Boys Over Flowers, because he goes and stands on the ice rink for hours waiting for her. And she shows up late. It's very much like the Namsan Tower date from Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah.
And I like the scene of him practicing what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Where he's like, that's not good. And he's like,
he's making an effort. He's trying. He knows he's like lacking, and he's trying to achieve like maturity and adulthood, and like this, like he's trying to get to her level, or like any level that's not where he was. But it's cute to watch him kind of fall short, and then her still being like, bro, like what the heck.
Yeah, and then they have the ice skating date 2.0 when she finally shows up, because they had an ice skating moment earlier in the show. And he's just falling all over the place. I want to reiterate something, that I don't think there was any stunt doubles or stunt people on this production.
Are they insured for this?
Because they were they were throwing themselves over a hard surface, presumably ice, for this show, for television, and it looked
like,
real.
He's still Rain. Like he's very
right,
famous. Like,
right.
Like imagine some like you know, Park Seo-joon now trying to like fling himself all over. They'd be like, no. Like,
you can't.
We need to assure you, we need to have like safety stuff in place. And they were just, it did not seem like any of that was going on at Everland or Magic Land, whatever they call it.
Yeah, Magic Land. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And both of them were just, honestly, I'm hesitant to fall once ice skating. They were, I don't know how many takes they did. They were constantly looking fragile upon
they
that.
Also did not seem particularly cold. I was like, is it not?
I don't
cold?
think it
like,
was. I think it was like a chilled surface, not necessarily ice.
Okay.
But I don't know what else to call it other than ice skating, because they were wearing ice skates.
Yeah, they were.
So I don't know if it was just like frozen concrete or something that they were.
Even worse in a way, I feel like.
It looked dangerous, like what they were doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, he finally confesses, I love you. And the Zamboni driver kicks up some noise and drowns him out. Which again, very Boys Over Flowers, which came a few years later. I guess you could say it's the other way around. Boys Over Flowers is like borrowing from Full House, because Full House is 04 and Boys Over Flowers is 09.
Right.
His final confession is good, though. I was like, this is a pretty good one. He says, loving you is something I can't stop. I love you enough to make the universe explode or dry up all the waters on the earth. Enough to divide my soul again and scatter it. That's how much I love you.
Dang.
Damn. Genuinely good line from somewhat of an oaf who maybe got into medical school. So
by the way, I speak to his personality. Like I think Rain is attractive, but his like whole like sob story in real life is that he was too ugly to be an idol until I guess whenever he became one. And
Rain is so cute in this show.
Yeah. No, he is, but the quote unquote ugliness, again, I don't think he actually is ugly at all, but like he doesn't look like some of the idols, like looking like anime at the time,
yes,
like looking very chiseled. He's not like that either. So that lends itself to his like bumblingness in this show. Because if he had looked like just someone just like cut with ice and glass and like, looked very perfect and pristine.
Like, let's just say, what's a good idol that has like a perfect, Chaonu from Astro. Is basically a perfect specimen, right?
Right.
If Chaonu is falling all over this concrete ice and looking pretty worse for wear a lot of the time and looking really stupid, I don't think people would believe it.
And being a doofus in manners and like, you know, how he's been the whole time, like not just like the ice scene, but all of it wouldn't have worked nearly as well without Rain's kind of like not so like he didn't get plastic surgery. Like you said, he didn't have like a quote unquote, like, beauty standards at that time or whatever, a perfect face. It lends itself to his character being this goofy and ultimately endearing, even though very annoying guy.
Yeah. So at the end, we have a happy ever after barbecue with both of the leads. We have Haewon.
Oh,
and
that was shocking.
Min-hyuk, both there at the barbecue. In fact, they carpooled to the barbecue at the house.
Were they together? Like, I didn't know what was going on anymore.
No, I don't think they were together.
Okay.
No.
Okay, they're just happy in their lives. Like how
yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, this is throwing me a little bit because they were so... Like, Min-hyuk was so great, but then we have qualms with him anyway. And then Haewon was like a terrible bitch to her.
Yeah.
Throughout.
I don't know why they kept Haewon in their lives, because later, like, Haewon's so fickle or something. Like, she very easily, like, when she's in something, she's in it. When she's out of something, she's out of it. Because she fell out of love with Min-hyuk, like, in 1 second. And then she, like, when she accepted their marriage as, like, despite everything real enough, she was, like, done. She, like, stopped obsessing over Young-jae. She was, like, encouraging Jiyeon. She's like, yeah, you should do this, you should do that, you should make up with him, you should whatever. And then they just had this like rapport together, and I was like, I get it, but I also don't get it. Like, why are you still around? Like, I would be like,
I would want
her to steal
gone.
My husband.
Yeah I would want her out. I don't want her at my house.
Even if she was like friendly, nice, or whatever later, I'd be like, well, yeah, don't be at my house.
And also, we're gonna meet up somewhere outside the house, not my house.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a little bit odd, but okay, we'll take it. And then final shot is them riding bike together, and she has her own bicycle. And I was
like, it was great. That was good. Full circle
now
moment. I'm curious about the comic to know if it was like that or not, or like
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think I want to read a 20-year-old comic now. I don't think I have the bandwidth. I don't think I have the energy. Necessarily
maybe we can find a summary somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. True. But anyway, we've come to the end of my notes. I don't know if you had stuff that you still wanted to mention before we get out of here, because this is a bit of a long one, but I think it's necessary. Full House is so iconic.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say in terms of my notes, although I did write in my notes, Han Ji-eun, work from home pioneer.
You're right, because she was working from home the whole time. Time. Yeah.
But I still am bothered by like the fact that we really don't know either how dire her circumstances were when her parents died and she was alone in that house, or how much maybe her friend Dong-wook's family helped her. And I wish we had more of that. Mm-hmm. That's something I really missed, even more than like where the other two second leads were coming from. I really wanted more of her like childhood stories.
Yeah, the friends, and because we don't really have a frame of reference for how much they mean to her. We just know that they mean something to her. Enough to keep them in her life.
I mean, I wanted to know, how mad do I need to be at this guy for selling her house out from under her? Because I was already mad enough. But like, if you were her benefactor, or your family was rather, during your guys' childhood, and you did this to her, then you're even scummier than I thought. Because it's like one thing to do.
Then it's even worse.
Yeah. So
anyway,
but I recommend this show a lot.
Yeah, I recommend it too. If you've come this far and we spoiled all the things about this show for you, great. Now I think you should definitely give it a watch, even though it could be shortened. A lot of these fights just seem repetitive and the plot is not really a plot, but it's fine. Like, this really does work. I like this show a lot. It's 4 out of 5 for me, and it's criminally dated, but in a really fun way. I mean,
Yes, it is fun.
Yeah, it feels like a time
When
capsule.
someone gets a fax, I was shocked. My jaw dropped.
Oh, stop. Not the fax. And the flip
The whole
phones.
fax
One last
machine
thing-
action.
One last note is that I miss flip phones.
They're coming back, aren't
The
they?
the flourish, the satisfaction
Yes.
of shutting the phone after you had a bad conversation, you got in a fight over the phone, or he not coming to pick you up, whatever the case was in the show. I was like, oh God, I miss that. And the little charms that you put on the phone.
I know. Those were cute.
Oh, I missed it. I missed it so much. Damn, I miss a flip phone. And then they could throw the phone anywhere they wanted. They didn't have to charge it all the time. You remember those times? You didn't have to charge your phone every
Well,
night.
that's because a text costs like 25 cents to send, so you weren't really using it.
You were calling people. You couldn't go on the internet. It would charge you. Like,
Yeah.
it was the time. And now, like, I have a diaper on my iPhone. Like, it's literally, it's a baby. I have to take care of it.
I know. You look at it wrong and it's like decides not to work.
Right. It's like software update needed. Oh, God. Anyway, so I think that on that note, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much, Mina, for dropping by, for watching this show, and for just being game to go back to 2004 with me. What a time.
Anytime back to 2004. Anytime.
Where can we find you online in case people haven't heard you on some of the other Daebak episodes?
I am on Instagram at Kpop Bookshelf, all one word, and that's the main place you're going to find me.
Nice.
I'm Jessica, and this has been the Daebak K-Rambles Podcast.